Good afternoon and welcome to LUTV's coverage of this PL2 Division 2 clash, the game between West Bromwich Albion and Leeds United. The Whites today in their away strip, not a kit we've seen too often this season for the 23s, and hopefully Leeds can move even closer to the PL2 Division 2 title. Hoping to make it 3 wins in a row. The Whites are 10 points clear at the top of the table. Second place Stoke do have a game in hand. Before we get into the teams and the table, I'll just bring in my co-commentator this afternoon, Ben Parker. Ben, good afternoon, and hopefully another win like we had last week, and a strong performance from what is a very strong starting 11.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tom. Good afternoon, everybody else. And you're right, it is a very, very strong lineup. Players coming back from injury, trying to get minutes under their belt. But the goal will always remain the same, what it has been this season, trying to stamp our mark on the pitch, stamp our mark throughout the 90 minutes. And again, on paper, top v bottom, you expect us to be dominant. But as we've seen this season, it's very competitive, this league. So we can't take West Brom for granted, and these are the teams West Brom starting with their under-23s first and foremost.
Yeah, so the West Brom team is Ted Camp, Ethan Ingram, George Harman, Zach Brown, Tom Sharp, Shaul Shotton, Taylor Garner-Hickman, Tim Logbaner, Owen Windsor, Rika Richards and Nick Clayton-Phillips. As we wait for the bench for the Baggies, it is Finn Thorndike, Maxi Burrock, Toby King, Kevin Joshua and Jovan Malcolm. Today's Leeds United team: Elijah Caprill, Jamie Shackleton, Leif Davis, Robin Koch, Oliver Casey, Gaetano Barardi, Jan Poveda, Jack Jenkins, Joe Gelhardt, Sam Greenwood and Crescencio Somerville. The bench for the Whites: Stanley van der Hooijvel is the first sub for today's Leeds United team. We've also got on the bench Cody Drame, Charlie Cresswell, Liam McCarron and Bobby Camwer. The game nearly ready to get underway. A 2 o'clock kickoff this afternoon. It's slightly later than perhaps we normally have been used to. Leeds have been kicking off at 1 for the early start of the season. Middlesbrough Wolves played out a 1-1 draw in a 12 o'clock kickoff earlier today, and at half time it's Crystal Palace 0, Sunderland 0 in the other game in the division. So we expect Robin Koch to sit in front of the back four like he did on Monday, Joe Gelhardt to lead the line, Crescencio Somerville and Jan Poveda to flank him either side, and Greenwood and Jenkins in the middle. The game is underway. West Brom are bottom of the table, 17 points, but well, that doesn't look to be too pretty with Leeds on 46. The Baggies have played 4 games less, so it could certainly be a lot more respectable come the end of the season. Leeds are one of very few teams to be affected by the cancellations. Those that were cancelled have already been played. As Oliver Casey, the skipper, this afternoon gets the ball out wide to Leif Davis, who's back in at left back this afternoon. The ball springs up in the air and Somerville will try and bring it under control and wins Leeds a throw. Leeds aiming for the double, won 2-1 back in November. It's a big test for West Brom this afternoon. Leeds, as the games tick by, closer and closer to what will be an incredible promotion to PL2 Division 1. Not getting too carried away with that just yet, despite the table looking very, very pretty indeed. As Barardi goes back to Caprill, they've done a very good job actually there to just pull a little bit further wide. A good first touch from Shackleton, and Leeds work it out from the back and go to Somerville. And you're not often told to the old school element was to never play it across your back four and across your box, Ben. But we know that Leeds is fashion and style. This is to take risks. It's worked for all levels throughout the club. And a good early couple of touches for all of the back four there as well. Yeah,
it is. And firstly, what you're noticing straight away, the pitch is lively, plenty of bobbles on it. Not used to the good surfaces like we do have at Fore Parch. We're trying to have those slick passes. So, look, keep playing the same way. But just have that element of caution in the back of your mind that it might be kind of bobbling up, but so far we've coped with it really well.
Yeah, down the left-hand side, it's unlucky that for Davis. He was looking for Somerville, who I'm sure will try and swap with Jan Poveda. He's back in the fold, Somerville. He was sent off a few weeks ago against Norwich, 2 yellow cards in the first half. Against Crystal Palace, should I say. It sort of derailed the Whites' charge, even though they nearly got a point towards the end. They were eventually beaten 2-0 with a late goal from the Eagles. That was away in London, and that was the first defeat for some time. Just 2 defeats in 12 for Mark Jackson's side. And they've won 4 of 5 away from home. Leeds only have 1 more match at home. So it's a case of getting the job done on their travels. As Ben rightly said, this pitch is certainly going to require some full attention from these players. It's very bobbly in parts. We've seen Somerville have to try and adjust to get there as the attack comes down the left into Greenwood, an overlapping run from Shackleton. We know he's got bags of pace. And Greenwood decides to try and go from right to left. It wasn't a bad idea, that. Jenkins and Davis win the ball back. Davis with the ailing flop. A little bit of a, I wouldn't say it's a little bit of afters. There was just a disagreement. The referee just going to try and calm things down and make sure there was no bad blood between the pair. He clearly, by the looks of things, Ben, the fact that he's talking to the West Brom player, believes that he did intentionally have a little stand on Leif Davis, who, as we know, is a very passionate character. He's not going to stand for that.
No, it's not. But it's good to see that the things they have been working in training, the passing, the movement, the finishing, but also the main important thing we've seen there, they do practice the ailing flop. And Leif Davis has got it down to a T.
Oh dear. Yes, so we see Berardi back on the ball. He works out towards Casey, who's seen a couple of touches. Greenwood's dropping deep. West Brom keeping a nice structure. The pressure's not too intense. Into Pervader, now the pressure does come. Greenwood, terrific feed from Sam Greenwood. Been watching that highlight reel of Charlie Cresswell last week, Ben.
Rumour has it he's not stopped talking about that.
I'm not sure I would. I'd have tried to get it printed out and put it on the side of the changing rooms. Not often you see a centre-back should be able to do that as Berardi goes out towards Shackleton. Lack of options in the middle, so he goes wide to Pervader, who, despite the first touch being a little bit heavy, he does really well to shield possession and go and find Casey. Leeds, as expected, like we've seen so many times this season. We've got the early possession, they're dictating the play, they're getting some good fields around the ball. Leif Davis and Somerville haven't played too often together, maybe 10 minutes. It's normally Somerville down the right, so a couple of breakdown in communication between the pair. Davis, I think, just trying to explain what he was going to do with that ball as the West Brom striker tries to cause a nuisance. He's got a shooting opportunity here, goes for goal, no power behind it from Owen Windsor. But he did well there, Ben. Katana Berardi just maybe got caught in the wind, that ball, and allowed the centre forward to just get him off and ready to try and take a shot. But I think Leeds did quite well then to close the angles down, and he produced only a tame shot as a result.
No, they did. They can be a nightmare for centre-halves. With the ball's just hanging in the air. Can't really go attack it. Drops and falls nicely for the opposition striker, but you're right. Just saying there, from a defender's point of view, you allow him to kind of shoot from 20 yards out. You're always going to back your keeper, unless it's a worldy strike, then you just hold your hands up and say fair play. But no, in the first 5 minutes or so, as we mentioned, the pitch really bobbly and lively, but it's still not stopped us trying to play the right way. Just a few little fouls, niggly fouls like that from West Brom, just breaking up the kind of rhythm so far. But it's something that we've faced plenty of times this season. Teams will try and do that to us. And that's the kind of reputation you build when you have good performances, you get good results, you are top of the table. And I'm sure these group of players, the guys who've been heavily involved this season for us, the 23s who aren't playing today, they're just trying to get to that end line now. The goal's in sight to win the league.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Greenwood takes this free kick. It's a decent ball in, a header from Leif Davis by the looks of things, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper Ted Can. And now out towards this left-hand side. West Brom trying to break forward, and they've got the numbers. Good work from Jenkins. Really smart. Doesn't commit himself in terms of diving in. Make sure his run is inch perfect, so he doesn't even have to make a charge. He can just scoop the ball away. And that was not a bad idea from West Brom. They've looked quite threatening down the left. The number 11, Clayton Phillips, and Windsor have connected a couple of times as Leeds, over 6 minutes in, still goalless away at West Brom. Dean Burton's side can move off the bottom today. That's how tight the table is. It's fortunately for me and Ben and the rest of the Leeds followers that the only area of the table that isn't so close-knit is the top, where Leeds sit 10 points clear with a chance to go 13 clear today as Berardi gets there. Greenwood, here he's Cock, tries to loop it over the top for Gelhardt, who's not had too many early touches. We know that isn't really an issue though. He's not a player that has to feel himself into the game. He can just come alive when his teammates can bring him into the action. As Pervader, Greenwood, Gelhardt, the trio that are trying to make an option for the throw. Greenwood is just nudged off it. Good work from West Brom. Baggy's coming away, and when he gets there first, Jenkins puts his foot in, as does the West Brom player, and Leeds will concede a throw. Cock again. As we expect, Ben, he's his reputation doesn't need us to add any more to it. We know the sort of player he can be, but just good to see him looking very sharp as well. That's the main thing for us to watch. I guess the physios as well. He's looking very committed to the cause. Whatever minutes he will get, he got a cameo on Monday, maybe a bit longer today. But his quality, as you say, will always help this 23s team. It's a good experience for those around him to learn off as well. And it's, as we mentioned in the commentary on Monday, a potential hole to fill if now we have nearly every centre-back fit. If he needs to go into play midfield, somewhere that I'm sure he could do a great job.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him lining up in that number 4 holding midfield role. Did it last week. And I think it's an element of getting more minutes as well, more sharpness. You are involved in the game a bit more as the direct free kick comes in.
Yeah, it certainly does. And it was a looping ball to the far post. Going to retrieve it now is Zach Brown. Looping ball. Good hands from Caprile. Yeah, sorry, Ben, we'll bring you back in.
And for Robin Koch, it's all about getting those minutes under belt. He did look sharp last week and just be looking to build on that. Somerville just overran it there. Good counter-attack up shooting, he kind of missed.
Yeah, it's been a bit stop-start, that left-hand side so far for Leeds. Robin Koch, that's not the sort of challenge you want to see on him. Advantage played, he does just get straight up. And West Brom, Ben mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, are more than happy to give some free kicks away. They're leaving the boot in. Here is Shackleton towards Berardi. Back to Shackleton again. Elia Caprile goes wide down the left, and now Ollie Katie can bring it away. He's just taking their time. Jenkins, just on that instant, struggling to find a little bit of space. He is, as always, Jenkins just going to make those runs in and around midfield. Berardi goes wide left, and it's a great ball out towards Davis. He's got options skewing up towards Gelhardt, now towards the far post. Jenkins prodded it towards goal, and West Brom managed to survive. It was just perhaps a little bit outstretched that for Jenkins. Couldn't fully wrap his foot around it. It was more of a prodded effort more than precision, as now Gelhardt goes down. He's chopped to the floor, and a good free kick. But first of all, the pass from Berardi, Ben, was an absolute peach. The touch from Leif Davis was just as good as well.
I was just about to mention the key to today's game is about having patience, because West Brom 11 behind the ball. It's so hard to move the ball when the pitch is so bobbly. Move it at a tempo like we like to do, so you've got to be patient. But one way to kind of beat that is do a little bit direct, go to those overlapping runs from your full-back. As you mentioned, some great ball from Berardi. Did you see Jack Jenkins, who disappointed in himself? He didn't find the back of the net, but great build-up.
Yeah, fantastic work. As now these two are going to have a little debate who should take this. Sam Greenwood scored a great free kick. Joe Gelhardt's the top scorer for Leeds this season with 8. Both of them have got run-ups that suggest they're very confident of striking it. Greenwood scored a very similar goal to this away at Sunderland earlier this season. Greenwood is the man that does step up to it, tries to squeeze it in the far corner, so the near post, and in that bottom corner, but just not got the required curl. But as a first attempt, Ben, and a bit of a attempt to get his eye in, get his range in, that was a very good effort.
No, I expect him to find the top corner. What are you on about? No, but I could see the way the wall were lined up. The man on the end for West Brom, he was the smallest guy out of them all. It was set up perfectly for Greenwood to have a go, because they just set out too far from the near post. But good effort.
Yeah, very good so far from Greenwood. He's been heavily involved. A couple of crossfield passes, one that went a little short, but Leeds concede a free kick, and Somerville, Gelhardt and Greenwood, the 3 furthest forward. They're now just going to drop in. The West Brom centre-backs make their way towards the Leeds box. Ball fired in as he's gone all the way over the top, and exactly what Leeds' defence would have wanted, especially Elia Caprile. And disappointment that for West Brom, because if you're going to try and test this Leeds team, free kicks are always a great leveller. Always back yourself to try and cause a few problems, but with the back 4 Leeds have got out there today, it's going to be a good challenge. Berardi always, as we know, there's an aerial duel as Shackleton now tries to go along towards Gelhardt. Good leap from Joe Gelhardt, but just too high for him. Leave Davis for the challenge. Little nudge in the back. Referee said nothing in it, so game continues. A few West Brom players seem to suggest that should have been a free kick. Somerville gets on the ball into Owen Cocking. Looping ball back to Casey. Gives him the time he needs. And Ben pointed it out at the start. Even the simple balls from Casey to Berardi are bobbling around. It's going to require some precision passing. Just like that, as Shackleton goes back to Casey. And like April, Casey and Berardi have seen an awful lot of the ball inside this first 13 minutes. Ben's advice was patience. They've certainly showed it as Greenwood gets onto that pass from over the top. Now he looks towards the far post. It's not a bad idea, but again, a patient build-up at first, but then a bit too quick that from Greenwood, looking for Pervader Ben. But again, he looks like he's brimming with confidence in that number 10 role. He's always trying to pick that pass. It's not as if he's nervous or shy about it and turns around again. He's very confident in his own ability, just a bit too much on that one.
Yeah, but the pass before, that's what we need to try and do to break this West Brom team down. But just set the pitch out of the equation as well, because I don't think it's going to be a game where we're going to play in between the lines, get on the half turn and run at the back four of West Brom. It might be what we're going to see here. Ball out to Ollie Casey, might go back towards Berardi. If we can go into midfield, great. But then it's just nice to set up, and plus you've got to take care on those passes. This way you're going to have time on the ball. And we're seeing with Berardi with a pass going down the line. Ollie Casey tried to find Greenwood with a third man run as well. Again, more direct 34-yard pass.
Yeah, Davis goes towards the far post and Pervader not there. Shackleton is though, ball back across goal. And Ted Kant is able to bring it under control. That crossfield ball is a real attribute to this 23's team. We saw Charlie Cresswell for many months try it. Leeds' players are more than open to doing it and mixing it from short passes through the middle to using those expansive wingers that Leeds possess. And Berardi has already shown what he can do in that department with a great crossfield ball. Now he's deciding to go through the heart of that West Brom midfield. Gelhardt back to Greenwood. Greenwood's quick to get there to Davis. 15 minutes gone, still goalless. Pretty low-key start. Leeds been the better of the two teams as Somerville is stood up, but now tries to take it round them. Goes for goal right-footed into the hands of Can, but West Brom, I'm sure of them, their research on the league leaders, Ben, it's, again, a very respectable level to play football. The analysis is first class. I'm not sure if the right back listened to the section on Crescencio Somerville, because to let him turn in on his right foot and go for goal was a pretty dangerous move there. Yeah,
from a personal point of view and a selfish point of view, I'm really excited to watch Somerville. Obviously followed the games where I haven't been able to cover. Just looked really sharp, really bright and positive. And another player, you could say it for a handful of these under-23 guys, the development we've seen over the course of the season has been fantastic. And he's just another example of that, grown into the shape, the confidence. And he's another player as well, I'm sure, in training at Four Patch day in, day out, will try and put himself in Marcelo Bielsa's frame of mind, because this is what everyone's trying to do.
Yeah, certainly is. The Pervader's unlucky there, nearly gets past two defenders, but that last touch helped West Brom out, and now they're going to come down the left with George Harmon, intercepted by Berardi, who's led the way today so far at centre-back. Some great interceptions, and just a great sight for all Leeds fans to see him back in his usual position, and hopefully it's only a couple of weeks away before that deserved Premier League appearance after getting that new deal last summer. As Greenwood nearly gets to the ball, he's just beaten to it. That's a good work him up the midfield, but as I say that, they're giving the ball away. Gelhardt looking for Somerville, puts plenty of power on it. Somerville goes down. There's not too much of an appeal, but Leeds United do get the spot kick. I thought Somerville suggested with his body language there, Ben, that perhaps he just thought it was a fair challenge, but he wins the penalty. Joe Gelhardt's gone across to try and take it. Sam Greenwood has a word, Somerville has a word as well, but Joe Gelhardt looks for his 9th goal of the season. Your thoughts on that challenge, Ben?
It was one of those, as soon as the defender's fully committed, he has to time it perfectly, because he's always going to be liable to give it a penalty away, and always look to his own teammates' reaction, and there were nothing from the West Brom players going over towards the referee. They're obviously a lot closer than what we can see on the pictures here. They must have felt Somerville just got to the ball first. In that instance, it's a good decision from the referee. And I'm glad to see Joe Gelhardt taking responsibility yet again. But all started from Greenwood, just the desire to try and win it back, didn't give up. This has been a key aspect to this season for the under-23s. Then the weighted pass from Gelhardt. You can just see there, just might be a little tangle of legs, a push in the back maybe as well. But you just look at the reaction from the West Brom players. Nothing at all. They've all walked away. Over to you, Joe.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and as we say, we'll take these penalties all day long. We've had enough of them not given to Leeds this season, so Joe Gelhardt steps up against Can to try and get Leeds into the lead, sends in the wrong way. Joe Gelhardt, cool as you like. 9th goal of the season for Joe Gelhardt, and leads off to another perfect start, but inside 20 minutes.
And it looks like he's practiced his penalty run-up. If you look to a couple of early penalties taken the first part of the season, almost just like stepping up, putting his laces through it. The penalty last weekend, today's one, just that little stutter before he takes it. The keeper's committed, rolls it the other way. Cool, calm. 1-0 inside the first 20 minutes. I'm sure Matt Jackson will take that.
Yeah, perfect. April not had to do too much. Bit of confusion here at kick-off, which is not a great sign as we get a replay. Yeah, the keeper was fully committed to that far corner. From a goalkeeper's perspective, he certainly gave everything he could to try and stop it, but Joe Gelhardt had none of it. Sent him, as Ben said, with that little dummy, that little step, maybe forced the keeper's hand as Somerville tries to get to the ball, beaten to it in the air. Jenkins is going to pick up the pieces. Ethan Ingram, the man that beats Somerville to the ball. Casey. Leaves Davis. Davis tries to whip it down the line. He was looking for Jenkins, just can't get to him. Somerville, though, had dropped off the shoulder of the right back to make sure he could pick up any loose pass. Casey's ball is a curler behind Jan Perveda. An apology from Ollie Casey. Just sliced it a little bit too much as we see the ball up towards Owen Windsor. He's got Berardi for company. Tries to hold up the play. Davis gets to the pass. Windsor's been one of West Brom's most kind of catching players. He's held up the ball pretty well when Cantano Berardi's not been able to get to it first, that is. As Somerville is a player that I've often said catches the eye defensively just as much as he does going forward. He's not a winger that's afraid to put his foot in, and Leeds scramble and manage to win the ball back. And from a defender's point of view, Ben, if I'm sure you've played against a mixture of wingers during your career. I mean, it's not often, is it, that we see? I guess it's more common now in the modern game that wingers having to be a bit more flexible, but a bit of a nightmare when you know you've not got a minute's rest against someone like Somerville.
Always liked the wingers where, they think they're good going forward. That's their job, but then not very good defensively. So you try and take them the other way. But with Somerville, you've got no chance of doing that because it's snapping at your heels, trying to win the ball back. But that's just the Leeds United way. Everyone has to work hard. Everyone's got a role and responsibility. And that's off the ball as well as trying to create chances. But we just look at solid outfit. We're just doing the basics well in this game. West Brom really aren't getting anywhere. And then the one time when we had the ball in the final third, we were clinical, won the penalty from that.
Yeah, Casey heads the ball away. Gelhardt tries to cause problems. He ends up missing the ball. Greenwood then sets off and tries to put Can under pressure, and he rushes the kick, and Leeds get away with Berardi. Good work this so far from Leeds. West Brom 0, Leeds United 1. If you're just joining us here on LUTV, the game's ticking by for Leeds as they try and go 13 clear with only a couple of games left in this 23s campaign. Joe Gelhardt's penalty, the difference so far. West Brom thought they'd got the throw. The referee now gives them the instruction that isn't the case, so Shackleton comes across to take it. Shackleton to Robin Carkin. Now Cock goes down. He's bundled them to the back by the midfielder, who's trying to keep with him. Those two have been man-marking each other throughout the game so far. Windsor tries to give instructions to the ref. The man making the foul was Rico Richards. And the referee is again just trying to calm down the West Brom player. Didn't really think it needed that. I just thought it was a little nudge from behind. He was just trying to slow things down. So Leeds have sent forward Casey in the yellow boots. Robin Koch at the far post. Berardi is the man giving the signal. Gelhardt and Somerville are just to the edge, just in case it falls back out there. Gelhardt just waits. There's a couple of players. Davis, in fact, the one that's out there rather than Gelhardt. Now that ball in from Greenwood, it's towards the far post. Casey tries to put it back in, and it's just not clinical enough to wrap it round that right foot towards goal, but a decent effort all the same. If Davis is another good option to have as a attacking, well, both sets of set pieces. He's got a great aerial threat. He's very powerful in the air. He's going to come across now and try and win the ball. He's able to win a throw. Not sure I've ever seen somebody jump as high as Leif Davis, to be honest. It just confuses me how he does it.
I was going to say, has he got those new boots that have like springs in? Because the height he just got there is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a real asset to his game as Jenkins. I don't think he was too happy with the pass from Shackleton, but didn't look to be too much wrong with it for me.
I think he was unhappy with the pitch. You could just see Mark Jackson's reaction to him. They were just like, focus, make sure the next one comes to you. You take your time, you care on the pass, and he did there. Only a little 2-3 yard pass, but there was the little bits of care and detail you need in your passing on today's game. And that's what Mark Jackson's message is to Jack Jenkins. Thankfully, listen to him.
Yeah, I think it is going to be frustrating, isn't it, when you've the ball straight into your feet and the pitch doesn't help, but everyone's got to play the same conditions as Greenwood tries to get in behind. West Brom have dealt with him very well. Shackleton caught the West Brom player late. That's going to be a free kick, and number 3 is down, which is George Harmon. Shackleton just a little late. Referee wants a word. No, he doesn't want a word. Confusing hand signals. Can to take the free kick. Nearly 25 minutes gone on what is a lovely afternoon. Weather a lot better for the 23's players. I'm sure these are the games they're going to relish, as Ben mentioned. Title well within their grasp. It's theirs to lose, Leeds, and looks to be a good couple of weeks from being there's a huge occasion for the club and all the players involved. And even now get to play and flaunt their stuff in better weather as Gelhardt gets to the ball. He's got an overlapping run from Davis. Davis across the face of goal. It's deflected. Jenkins, it's nearly going to fall to Jenkins again. He wrestles away, and West Brom managed to clear only as far as Koch. It goes into Jenkins. Sorry, Gelhardt. Out to Davis, looking for Jenkins. Deflection is going to take it behind for a Leeds corner.
What we're doing really well at the moment is just pinning West Brom back in their defensive third. Any turnover straight on top of it. See Robin Koch there. It seems a simple thing, but he's just winning the second ball, playing a simple pass, sustaining the attack. When we start getting to a rhythm like that, you can see the bodies do commit forward. It's very difficult for West Brom to try and get out then.
Joe Gelhardt has options at the near post. Far post, though, is the target. Ollie Casey's come towards it. The keeper gets up, and they've clashed heads here. And fingers crossed the two players are okay. It looks a sore one. Casey is up. I'm guessing there's some blood because the referee's noticed it immediately, and the keeper looks in some discomfort. So our thoughts to both, Ben, especially the keeper who looks in some severe pain. I think a few of the West Brom players have maybe tried to suggest that Ollie Casey didn't have the right to go for that. I'm not so sure, though. I thought it was certainly in range. He's not coming late, but that's what they're trying to appeal anyway. I know it's clearly some passionate support for their teammate, which is there's nothing wrong with that, but hopefully just heat of the moment stuff, because I thought Casey had every right.
I think it's just unusual when you see an outfield player and a keeper colliding heads. It doesn't really happen. It's always kind of two outfield players like it does happen too. You can just see all the case they're just trying to check on the goalkeeper, but he's come off worse for wear as well. Some claret coming from back of his head. He expects for to be a bit of a longish kind of delay. And still the West Brom players are still trying to have a little moan up about it, but just to give him a yellow card, like, I don't really understand that, to be honest. He's entitled to go attack the ball. I'm sure if it wasn't a goalkeeper and it was an outfield player, nothing kind of got said, but like I say, it's just a bit unusual to see it happening. He's got every right to go attack it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point of view as well is it's not as if Casey's gone in with a foot or an arm, so he can't get hurt himself. You know, he's put himself at risk as well, and you know, this is not something we want to see fingers crossed. And yeah, the keeper is going to have to be replaced. So we hope it's something that can be repaired pretty quickly. Our thoughts are with him. Leeds will have to just stay patient, stay switched on. This is the penalty incident. The 3 players that appealed, Joe Gelhardt, Jenkins and Greenwood, they were the 3 that were closest to it, as Ben said. There wasn't that much of an appeal from West Brom. And Gelhardt sending the keeper the wrong way as the scoreline stays the same at West Brom 0, Leeds United 1. I also saw, Ben, I liked that Crescencio Somerville was the one with Gelhardt trying to appeal who should take it, and in the aftermath of this penalty he had a little smile on his face, Joe Gelhardt, to just say he'd done the job of ahead of Somerville. And good to see that camaraderie. Players are desperate to take those set pieces, they want goals, but at least you go and score it and everyone can smile again, because it's those awkward situations when you tell a player you want it and then you miss and you've got to walk back and face that awkward stare.
Not a chance anyone getting that ball off Joe Gelhardt. Scored last week from the spot, so surely he just keeps the duties now. That's usually how it works, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean Tyler Roberts has come down from the first team, and
yeah, but he's a bit more senior.
Yeah, and he's the only one. He's the only one that's took the ball off Joe Gelhardt, much to Joe Gelhardt's disappointment. So you can now understand the shoe on the other foot. As we're just waiting to see the West Brom medical staff, and it's great to see that the keeper can be helped off the field. He's clearly got a blow to the side of the head, and one of Casey and his teammates did try and check on the keeper. So the replacement will now ready himself for an hour's worth of action. Dean Burton, West Brom coach, sends him on his way. So the replacement keeper, which I'll get the name for you now, just as we get ready for the rest of this game, is Maxi Buruk. I'm sure he didn't expect to be coming on so early.
I think what we have to say, it's a good sign to see the West Brom's number 1 walking off. Ted Can, obviously, first and foremost, the player's safety is paramount. I'm sure they'll do all the protocols, the head injury assessments, everything that needs to get him right, but it's a good sign that he walked off the pitch himself, obviously aided by the medical department. We don't want to see any player go off injured. No, so it was just an accidental collision, in my opinion. He was always entitled to go for that ball, is Ollie Casey.
Yep, totally agree. And as we say, Ben, fingers crossed for the keeper, and hopefully he can be back on the bench watching the rest of the game once he's had a check over. And the keeper clearly showing a bit of nerves, a bit of rust, as Buruk fires the ball straight out of play for a Leeds throw. So the game back underway. Shackleton was looking down the line for Gelhardt, didn't get the power on the throw that he wanted. He will now wrestle with Greenwood to try and get it back. He apologises to those in front of him that he didn't find with the throw, and Leeds have given away a free kick. I think Greenwood had a little nibble on the ankles. Referee is certainly trying to keep a lid on things. The players trying to take a free kick. I mean, that incident was not where that ball is. I can understand why West Brom's players are a bit frustrated there. As good header away from Berardi, cleared away by Shackleton. Leeds so far so good at what's been a great few days for the all age levels as well. A couple of good wins for the under 23s if they can hang on here. Under 18s got a fantastic success on Wednesday. A great performance against MK Dons at York. The first team, of course, were in fine form to end that poor run in London. A couple of wins for some younger age groups as well. So the future looking very bright at academy level. Ollie Casey has done very well to just shake off that head injury, just get up, make sure he's patched up, and now has a headband on until the rest of this game. And Leeds give away a free kick. All gone a little bit scrappy, which I guess, Ben, we're not surprised that a good 5-6 minute delay that we had. And often the players will take a bit of time to get warmed back up.
It can take a while to get back into the rhythm of the game. But it's important, especially from these set pieces, you do switch on. This is how you can concede. I'm sure that the message from likes of Berardi at the back.
Yeah, Jenkins claims he wins a goal kick. He's done really well there, Jenkins. hits the ball against the number 7, which I think was Taylor Gardner-Hickman. Leeds, just as when they look to be under pressure, end that with a smart tackle, and Leeds now build out from the back, wide to Davis. Davis is going to take this one down the line. He drives forward, tries to run at the West Brom defence. He's unlucky there, Davis. He now has clipped the player in back plate. I think the two of them was running at great speed. Hopefully there's no injuries for either of the two, and I'm not sure if Davis slipped because he seemed to land awkwardly on the back of the West Brom player. He's grown into the game, Leif Davis. He's a real threat when he gets going down the left. He's got tremendous speed. Yeah, both players good to continue. West Brom on the attack. Berardi trying to get back and help. Robin Koch, the man that puts the tackle in. Berardi and Casey now back in position. Shackleton likewise. Pervader, the shot's going to come. It's well blocked by Robin Koch, who once again just shows that touch of class to get away. Joe Gelhardt doing the exact same thing. And Joe Gelhardt isn't the tallest, is he, in terms of a leading number 9, but a very powerful, very stocky player that certainly holds his own up there, and must be quite frustrating to play against a player, Ben, that looks like he's got all the tricks in the book, but then does the harder work even better as well. Just drops off the shoulder, keeps the ball, and then wins a free kick.
Well, I'm sure every centre-half that's come up against him this season will look at him and think, we can bully him today. We can certainly dominate that physical aspect. Shackleton's getting in behind. Yeah,
a chance to go across the face of goal. Keeper might have got a slight touch to it. Joe Gelhardt was in the box. Somerville gets out there to try and help out. Jenkins spins away, looks for Davis. Davis goes first time with the cross, and it's going to take a big deflection. West Brom can't keep it in play, and Leeds get another corner.
You know, they got in again through another long pass. This time it's Shackleton, the right full back. We've seen Leif Davis a couple of times on the left-hand side do it. This time it's Shackleton. As we mentioned earlier, part in this first half, I think that's key today. Just trying to break West Brom down, take the pitch out of the equation. We're going back to Joe Gelhardt. You think you can bully him, but he's so strong. You're not getting that ball off him, especially when he backs himself into you. You're going nowhere.
Yeah, Joe Gelhardt trying to urge his players into position. Greenwood on the edge of the box. Referee checking everything in the area. Gelhardt seems to have changed his mind on what he wants to do with this set piece. Now he flies the ball towards the far post for Robin Koch. Pervader takes a bit of a whack at he tries to wait for the ball to come down. Jenkins and Shackleton now driving to get there. It's good work from Rico Richards. He's spun Jenkins. Now Leeds having to try and get back. This is the second time he's done this across the face of goal. The pass is heavy, and it's forced his teammate very wide towards Gaetano Berardi. And that is quite a daunting situation for the young left midfielder, Nick Clayton-Phillips. He turns around and sees no other than Mr. Berardi running towards him, only a couple of yards away. Does win a throw. Berardi showing that level of respect, because I've seen him in those instances just decide to put the ball and the man into the stand. So held off this afternoon for a change as Windsor holds the ball up. He wanted to play the pass back up the line, but decided against it. Little back heel. Berardi scrapping away. Leeds should get the throw and do well. Again, we say it so many times, Ben, about the first team players dropping back into the 23s for fitness, for extra minutes in the legs after some long injury layoffs. And you've got Shackleton, Pervader, Berardi, Robin Koch. All those players have been on the sidelines for a decent amount of time, and so good for those, especially Berardi at centre-back, for what he can bring to the youngsters to try and help them learn along. And get your thoughts on that in a second, as Somerville has gone and got the ball from that forward pass. Here comes Davis, puts his foot through it and just can't find the bottom corner or the right boot of Jan Pervader, who I think with that look to the sky suggests he might have been better off just throwing himself at that ball. It's unlucky. So yeah, Ben, your thoughts on the influence today so far, that first team players, what they'll bring, and that chance as well.
I think we've said this time and time again, haven't we, Tom? The dedication, how they apply themselves. I just love to be a young player at this football club at the moment, because you can just learn so much from these guys. They've been there, seen it, done it, but then they're still applying themselves really well. And it's these good habits that these young players will learn. I think you can see that they are, because there's elements of their game they're learning, developing, putting into practice as well. And going back to that chance there from Leif Davis. Was it a shot? Was it a cross? Only he'll know. But great energy to try and support.
Yeah, here he goes again. He's got the speed. He gets past his man, floats in the cross. It's a miss hit. Here comes Shackleton. Right footed, takes a deflection. It's into the hands of the keeper. Just what he wanted to see. And Shackleton, some great support play. He's the right back, and yet one of the furthest forward trying to help out. That's the sort of speed he brings to the full. Davis on the same side of things. And again, the pressure's just too much. West Brom give away a throw. I thought Shackleton did everything right there, Ben. He put his foot through the ball. He was determined to get to it. It's just some good defending, and the keeper would have been very grateful to see it spin the way it did.
Well, what we're seeing there, from one full back to another, is just so good to see. Like saying, for West Brom, they don't really know what to kind of do at the moment. Maybe trying to put a little bit of press on there. If they do that, that's when we've got a bit of space. Try and play it around their little initial press. But just slowly but surely, this half has developed, been total control.
And Pavada's starting to find his feet and his range now. He's dribbling his way forward. Joe Gelhardt joins in. And now Jan Pavada does it again. He tries to hold up the play. He just runs into one too many. Referee says no free kick though, and Shackleton's told to play on. Shackleton just a bit too far in front of Jenkins. Jenkins is though going to go back for it. He gets caught. Now Somerville takes over. Somerville wants for Gelhardt to get left-footed. Oh, it's in. It's brilliant from Joe Gelhardt. Just when you thought Somerville was going to take it the one way and go for goal himself, he lays it on a plate for Joe Gelhardt. But even from that tight angle, he finds a way past the keeper. It's his second of the afternoon. It's 10 for the season. It's West Brom 0, Leeds United 2.
Almost a carbon copy of the first. Just a turnover. West Brom trying to play out through the back. Not too sure that's the method for them. And we've punished them yet again. And the roles are reversed this time. For the first goal was Somerville winning the penalty that Joe Gelhardt was kind of converted. We just set him up this time. Just a little reverse pass. And it's a fantastic finish. This time it's Jack Jenkins putting the pressure. Great overlapping run. And the finish, the ball's almost kind of stuck under his body, a little bit behind him, so he's dug it out superbly and find the bottom corner on the far side. It's a fantastic finish. It's a player who's playing full of confidence at the moment.
Yeah, Pavada's looking like he's playing with confidence as well as he draws the free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card this for George Harmon. And Jan Pavada gets another left back in bother. While Pavada was good there, I thought that touch from Greenwood was brilliant. Straight into his path, and it's not been the game so far for Pavada and Somerville to attack. It's been I think Ben mentioned it a minute or two ago, that it's the wing backs that have had to catch the eye because West Brom have forced the wingers inside. But as West Brom try and come forward, I'm sure lose their heads if Leeds start to score a few more. That play will open up for them, and they've stayed disciplined. Joe Gelhardt's giving the signal out of what he wants. I've no idea what it means. I hope Leeds' 23s do. So Somerville, Casey, Koch, Berardi and Davis are all the players back at the far post. Davis sets off early. It is Greenwood this time. It's towards Casey. He hits it into the floor and just not the finish he wanted. And again, look at the pressure from Joe Gelhardt. Realises that the potential short corner was on. Sorry, short goal kick was on, so he sets off, closes the angle. And now has a little cushion over Sam Greenwood in the goal scoring charts, which I'm sure Greenwood will be doing all he can to reduce. And if I was him, I'd use the excuse that he now plays deeper in midfield as well. Somerville wins the ball back, albeit rather unorthodoxly. It's a bit scrappy. The referee's doing a good job, I think, Benter. I think both sides have tried to be winning free kicks off each other, a little bit niggly here and there, and he just wants the game to flow. So he's trying to let it do that, as Elijah Capril's really played himself into trouble. Shackleton back to Berardi, but yeah, he's given the advantage there on a couple of occasions. Leeds just guilty of one pass too many as the shot comes in, and it nearly clears the car park behind the stand. It's not the shot that George Harmon would have wanted. But yeah, the last few weeks, I know the fan base were a little bit disappointed with the officiating, which I'm sure they'll always voice with the cards that were given. But I think today it's time to praise the ref.
Praising the ref? What's happening here, Tom?
Are
you feeling okay?
Ben, it's in the weather, Ben. It's a nice day. Every single team we've covered has won the last week. I'm on a high, so he's done a decent job, only the one card. If you are just joining us, expect a little bit of stoppage time at the end of the first half. We had a head collision, as you can see on a case. He's got a head strapping. He collided with the keeper, Can, and Can had to go off with that collision, which we, as mentioned, fingers crossed he's okay. So maybe up to 4 or 5 minutes of first half stoppage time. If you're just sitting down this Monday afternoon to join us, myself, Tom Hill and Ben Parker, a Joe Gelhardt brace so far. The difference is Pervader runs inside, tries to float the ball forward with a high boot on Gelhardt, who's been caught, the West Brom player. A little bit guilty. You can hear Ben alongside me. It's one of those that it does make you wince a little bit, Ben, when you see a player go in like that. Thankfully, Joe Gelhardt's okay.
I've never seen someone bounce up so quickly after being booed in the head like Joe Gelhardt just did there. I suppose that's when you've got a hat-trick you're after. You're thinking, right, give me that ball. No one's having that. There's only one man taking the surely, isn't there, Tom?
I'd say so. On a hat-trick, will he let his teammate call rank? I'm not sure. In fact, he's walked away now, suggests that he's having a change of heart, but Jan Pervader's now trying to get on the axe. Once Joe Gellhart's moved out of the way, he fancies a go. I mean, with the way it stood, you would say it could be hit by either. Now they might try and lay it off, in fact, to Joe Gelhardt. So confusion reigns for us. No idea what West Brom must be thinking. The referee's just double-checking the wall. Will try and encroach a little bit closer to make sure they can close this down. They don't want it to get to 3-0 before the end. The West Brom players are now alert to the fact that Joe Gelhardt's coming for this, perhaps. And now the referee's going to check. This is a similar situation to what we saw with Crescencio Somerville a few weeks ago, when the referee gave him a yellow card for not being level with the wall. That forward Windsor is more than level. In fact, he's behind the wall. So West Brom doing their best. Laid off to Pervader. It's back to Gelhardt. He is going to drill it low and hard, looking for that corner. And unlucky that for Leeds. West Brom were, the longer that went on. I think the fact that the referee came over, Ben, gave that even more time to embrace and get ready for that shot from Gelhardt.
I think we just tried to overcomplicate it then. Playing a little pass to try and set it up for the strike for Gelhardt. I don't think he needed that. Just so expected Gelhardt just to take it first time, but hey, they know what they're doing better than we're doing. This is why they're playing. We're sat here, Tom.
Yeah, the table suggests that the coaching staff and this group of players know what they're doing. Certainly so, as the ball's over the top. Casey deals with it perfectly, gets it downfield. Here comes Shackleton, flies up in the air, and the referee said it's a free kick. Perhaps a nudge in the air on Clayton Phillips. Taking this free kick is Turner Gardner-Hickman. Now West Brom can send their bodies forward. They're taller players, and just again like the last set piece, they delayed that, as now it's gone to Rico Richards, who has been West Brom's best player. He whips the ball in, headed away by Casey. No sign of him scared to head the ball from that head clash. And now Gelhardt steps away, right to challenge, skips the ball down the line, and he wants to go on his way with Pervader. Pervader right-footed, he's caught. It's a great ball to Somerville. What a pass that is now. Somerville into the box he comes, onto his right foot, into the corner. It's just wide. One of the best counter-attacks we've seen all season from Leeds, and it just can't squeeze in. If there's any shot, I guess, Ben, this afternoon we wanted to go in there from the movement, from Gelhardt's trickery, from Casey's bravery, and Jan Pervader on his weaker foot, wrapping his right leg around the ball. What a ball that was.
We've been privileged to watch some fantastic goals with the 23s this season, but let me tell you, that'd have been right up there. They've been the best of the lot because, as you talked through it there, Tom, the initial header from Casey, but then to try and play out from the back, Joe Gelhardt on the half-turn in his own 18-yard box, out to Pervader. What a pass, as you mentioned, on his weaker right foot. I just expected the far corner to ball from Somerville. Just didn't quite wrap his foot round it, but fantastic counter-attack yet again.
Yeah, Rowan Cock towards Somerville. Gets a slight touch to it. It's cleared away by West Brom, and Leeds get the throw near halfway. That would have been icing on the cake at the end of the first half from Mark Jackson's side. From West Brom's point of view, the Baggies will not be happy that they left a winger in so much space, and here he is again. This time they are tighter to him, but it doesn't matter because he shakes them off, wins a free kick. Casey uses that run from Robin Koch to find an angle back to Berardi. Shackled again. The energy levels have been so important to Leeds. As now here comes Poveda. They're stretched a bit here, West Brom. Shackleton's getting forward. Poveda decides to try and cut inside. The options perhaps weren't as fancied as they first could have been. He maybe needs to play it a bit quicker. Here he comes again. He's got Greenwood on his inside. He's got Gelhardt pulling wide. West Brom trying to sit deep. Gelhardt now decides to just go back and stretch the player to the left. Casey's first touch is a tad sloppy if we're being picky. He still keeps the ball though. Back to Jenkins into stoppage time as Leeds push for a third, which they'll hope will be a match-winning third with the quality of play on show. West Brom might struggle to get back on level terms as Shackleton, it's the bubbling pitch that just maybe let him down there, Shackleton. And I know he's got a big fan base amongst a large section of our Leeds United supporters, Ben, with his energy levels and what he can provide in midfield. And just seeing glimpses of it today, he gets into areas that a lot of people wouldn't, because he's that quick and his fitness levels are so superior.
Really want to ask him, does he ever get tired? I'm pretty sure he doesn't. I'm pretty sure most of our players don't. As the referee blows the half-time whistle.
Yeah, so Leeds United 2 goals to the good. Joe Gelhardt's the reason for that lead. He won a penalty and converted it. He then got a second from a tight angle. It's half-time here on LUTV. West Brom 0, Leeds United 2.
I've seen the picture for, oh no, it's not going to be one of these games where
Welcome back to LUTV's coverage. We are just about to get underway for the start of the second half. Charlie Cresswell is ready to make his way onto the field of play. And not a bad change to be able to make your leading centre half for the majority of the season. Could well be for Ollie Casey, who picked up a head injury in the first 25 minutes. Did carry on, had to have his head strapped after picking up a knock with a challenge from Kant. But we're still waiting for West Brom to make their way back to the field of play. So Leeds' 23s are just in a pretty vigorous warm-up, now just setting themselves ready. So it should be Cresswell coming on for Casey, of course, with the likes of Berardi and Robin Koch still out there. It could well be that there's more changes to come as the game unfolds. So the other bench players are Danny van der Heuvel, Conor Drame, Liam McCarron and Bobby Camware. Myself, Tom Hill and Ben Parker will bring you all the second half coverage. As Cresswell, like the rest of his teammates, are just waiting for West Brom, who might have had enough, Ben. 2-0 down, nearly 3. What's the point? What's the point in going back out there? But I thought they were very determined. West Brom, they were a team, they were fighting for every challenge. They didn't lie down. Yes, they're bottom of the table, but they have played 4 games less than Leeds, as that change is confirmed. So Casey replaced and West Brom are out. So all joking aside, West Brom, like the rest of the teams we've played, Ben, are not going to lie down and go down without a fight, I'm sure.
No, they won't. And the first 10 minutes of the second half is going to be really key to this game. How we start. Don't give them a chance. Don't give them a sniff to try and get back in it. And don't be sloppy in his play as well. I think we can learn lessons from the Newcastle performance last week, where Newcastle, large parts of that second half, they were the better two sides. But what we did really well, we've seen the game out. We're really professional. And sometimes you have to do that. But today I'm sure we'll be looking to get that third goal. Get that third goal, put it to bed nice and early doors. And we can have a comfortable second half, Tom.
Yeah, just nice and easy, hopefully. And plenty of goals for us to watch from Leeds United's perspective, as the referee does get the second half underway. And Sam Greenwood goes early doors looking for the run of Leif Davis or Crescencio Somerville, and Jenkins flies in with a challenge, which I thought was perfectly okay. Both players have come off with a little knock, so perhaps I saw it differently. West Brom get a free kick. Very early stages of this second half. So Leeds, as it stands, are going 13 points clear at the top of the table. Stoke do have a game in hand. It will now make it 2. Stoke actually don't play until the 12th of April by my last check, and Leeds are not in action again until the 16th. So plenty of time for that one of those games in hand to be played, and Leeds hopefully are just a matter of weeks away from another 23's title. It was a couple of years ago they won the PDL North and the PDL National, got to the latter stages of the Premier League Cup. We all know why last season's campaign was curtailed, and what has been a very successful few years for the club hopefully will continue in the next few weeks, especially in the next 45 minutes, as Leif Davis takes over the duties from Jenkins. Somerville does the same from the Leeds number 3, and now Jenkins goes back to Owen Koch in possession. He drills the ball forward. He was looking for Shackleton. And West Brom put their foot on the ball. But is there anything in particular, Ben, you want to see from the 23s, or is it just a case of more of the same and hopefully get more goals?
It's just more of the same. Spoke again about how difficult the surface is, and it's not going to be a case of, right, can we try and play out from the back more? Can we try and play through the lines? Try and dissect the midfield kind of press or a deep block that West Brom might do. It's just about doing the right things in the right areas like we've done in the first half.
Jenkins wrestling with the West Brom midfielder. Good ball in, it was towards Windsor. Shot comes in as well, and Berardi gets to it. He doesn't know where the second ball's going, but it's a good job Rowan Koch does, and Shackleton gets in there and he's brave. Lee's just sitting off a little bit, and Cresswell realised that, and it's not often that Charlie Cresswell doesn't realise there's danger coming. Flies out of defence and closes it down, and now Leeds just trying to absorb the pressure. Jenkins tries to pickpocket Zach Brown. Brown right at the challenge, tries to get past Jan Poveda, who might concede a corner, but Leeds, I thought, did quite well there, Ben.
No, they did a few kind of moments where you think West Brom got a bit of space, but as you mentioned, Charlie Creswell, one of them closed the space really quickly, really well, got the shot blocked. But these are the moments where you got to stay switched on. Don't give them anything back in the game.
Yeah, ball in, it's a dangerous one. Davis heads clear. Jenkins gets a touch to it, and then he manages to prod it forward for Davis once more, who's been very ambitious down this left-hand side. He just couldn't steer it into the path of Greenwood. The ball is, as I say, it's bobbling all the time, and the keeper doesn't react too well. Just see Matt Jackson there, just trying to tell his players to calm down. Did have a feeling there for that keeper that he was going to bobble over his foot, but he dealt with it quite well. A change of boots needed for Jack Jenkins. And the fourth officials are going to make him step off the pitch. We don't have a ball, so the game can't resume anyway. Leeds will have to just watch themselves here, because one of their two centre midfielders is now off, so might be a case of just keeping the ball until he's allowed back on. Not sure whether he's planned that at half time or wasn't happy. You saw him in the first half not happy at the state of the pitch, so whether it's just something he's felt that he could do with any excuse to improve his game, I'm sure. Long throwing by Ingram, headed away by Cresswell. Richards beaten to it by Robin Koch. Gelhardt tries to get there. Of course, he's on a hat-trick, Joe Gelhardt. If you are just joining us here on LUTV, Joe Gelhardt's brace in the first half has put Leeds 2-0 to the good. The first a penalty, the second a really crisp finish from a tight angle. And by my maths, I'm sure, if I'm correct, someone will tell me, but it's 10 for the season. The 23's a good few goals clear of the next in line, Sam Greenwood, as Leeds Jenkins' new boots haven't worked just yet. He's just slipped over on that far side. Poveda is beaten to the ball. West Brom are going to have a shot towards goal. It's not too bad. And Alaya Kapil straight away on his defence, and their case for what was a pretty lacklustre effort there, Ben. It just seemed a bit too easy for West Brom, and that's the point we made. I know we joked at the start of because they were a little late out of the changing room, but we haven't seen a team stop trying at this level, and that's what you want to see. It's a high quality of football, and West Brom are at the bottom of the table, and it's a pride thing that they don't want to be dropping and staying there for the rest of the season. They're going to be doing everything they can to get a point out of the league leaders. That's
what we spoke about in our play at the start of the second half. Don't be sloppy. Don't give them a little bit of encouragement to try and get back into the game. That's all Eli Capril's saying there. So it's good from the goalkeeper. He's noticing it. We're just giving a few passes away, but Leif Davies good on the second ball. Good determination, energy shown.
Yeah, ball out towards Poveda. Poveda's going to try and take it. Shot deflected. It goes to the far post. It could have just bounced into Somerville's path. It went the other way, and Leeds will win a throw. No rush here from the Whites. Back into Cresswell. Cresswell to Berardi. Berardi getting more minutes. A couple of 45-minute cameos and a bit long by the looks of things today as Poveda wants the 1-2 with Jenkins. That pass is just behind him. West Brom, in fact, didn't take full advantage. They've got the ball back, but the chance to counter was there, and Berardi's interception is so important because it gives Leeds a chance again, as here is Jenkins. He goes wide to Somerville. Somerville has the option to go to Davis. He scoops it up to Gelhardt. Jenkins works the 1-2, which is brilliant from Leeds. Gelhardt dribbles his way through, goes down, and the referee gives a penalty. And it was the last second. He was about to pull the trigger, Joe Gelhardt. Boy, do I wish he did, because that would have been one of the goals of the season. The movement, the first touch, the passing. But the result could still be the same, Ben. He's grabbed the ball. Good luck trying to take it off him for a hat-trick. As Somerville maybe even just jokes and mentions it. West Brom adamant that isn't the case, but penalty to Leeds.
It was superb. The one-touch passing in around the box. That first-time layoff from Jack Jenkins, inch perfect. Didn't think there was space for it. Just goes to show the technique on Jack Jenkins. I'm not sure what everyone's complaining about the West Brom. It's a blatant penalty. But again, just like the first 2 goals, when West Brom have had possession, we've won it back. And then from then on, it's all about our play, our precision, our technical ability. Leif Davis making an overlap run yet again, with just a little 1-2, give and go. Superb. If he was going to have a shot the first time, just kind of stands on Joe Gelhardt's foot in the end.
Yep, so Gelhardt bamboozled another set of defenders this season. Jenkins is trying to wrestle his way in between the 2 centre-halves who are much bigger and stronger. He's going to have to try and settle for another different angle. And West Brom's players are going to do all they can to put him off. But let's hope it doesn't get anywhere near them. And this ball is fired home by Joe Gelhardt, who already beats the first keeper. It's now up against Borek, the second West Brom keeper, at the start of this second half. Joe Gelhardt will step up, left-footed. It's the same result. It's a bit higher, this penalty, but it's inch perfect again from Leeds United's number 9. It's another goal to the season, and it's a hat-trick.
The keeper's gone the right way. He's got no chance of getting there. It's in the side netting. Superb hat-trick. Yes, 2 are penalties, but clinically put away. This all-round game is just so good to watch. I feel like we're the privileged to. We get to commentate on such a special talent here. You can just see he's having a little stretch before the penalty kick. He's just thinking, do you know what? I know where I'm going to put this ball. Keeper, he can go the right way. He could have no chance whatsoever. It's exactly the same run up as the last 2 penalties. The little stutter just before he gets to the ball. But he knows where he's going to put it. And that's the message to any young kid watching this out there. He knows where he's going to put it before he's taking it. Straight in the side netting. And a hat-trick. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, really, Ben, because it's every game we've enjoyed covering, and it's going to get to that stage where we won't be covering him much longer because, you know, he's just that good, and I'm sure there'll be a move higher up the ranks for him. I've got to savour every game, especially the fans that are getting to watch him in action regular, because hopefully it's a sign of things to come and he can join the first team fold on a more regular basis and get those minutes. And I already know a few fans will be desperate to see him before the end of the season. The shot comes in, great save from Gabriel again. Gabriel gets down to his left, and it's just another example of his awareness. Leeds have hardly had to do any defending today, and just when he's called upon, he makes another good stop that's not only keeping the ball at bay, Ben, but he pushes it away to make sure that the defenders have got something to work on. As a former defender yourself, I'm guessing it's perfect, really, from a goalkeeper's point of view.
Yeah, it was, and the good thing to see there as well, the first person on the rebound was the man who's got the ball at his feet there, Robbie Koch. He's alert, he's aware. You usually expect him doing that at centre-half, but he's doing that from the holding midfield position. And again, it's these little things that you might not really notice, but I'm sure the manager, the coaching staff will want to see that from your players coming back from a long-term injury, which Robin Koch is doing. It's just the game awareness, being sharp, being the first person, be alert, deal with the situation after the parry away from Eli Capriel.
Yeah, it's a chance now for Leeds as Greenwood gets out there towards the right. He gives it to Shackleton. Shackleton inside to Robin Koch, and Koch goes forward, prods it into the midfield. Joe Gelhardt nearly gets to it. Leeds just caught out here as Windsor comes forward. He wants to go on his stronger left foot. He wants to draw the foul, and Robin Koch is going to oblige. There wasn't too much contact, but there's enough to send him to the floor, so I don't think he can complain with the yellow card. I think it's smart from Windsor because I think he can hear him, feel him coming, Ben. And once the touch comes, he's happy to go over. And Robin Koch is going to be carded. He's just trying to explain himself to the official. And a 3-man attack for West Brom stood over this latest free kick. And one of the first times Leeds have been caught out in midfield. Just a couple of too many bodies cramped in together and the space was in behind.
It was, but the recovery runs from Robin Koch. Yeah, the West Brom player's done well to buy a free kick and get him a yellow card. But it's the reaction, the recovery run from himself. Leif Davis as well, sprinting back, trying to get in position. That's the hard work. This is why we're top of the table, 3-0 up, and people still sprinting back into their shape and positions.
Yeah, so the two players stood over this for West Brom. So right-footed opportunity. Shot's going to come in. It's going to go over the wall. Capriel gets his hand to it. I think that was Gardner-Hickman that's gone for goal. Another good save. Sun in his eyes, and Elijah Capriel. There wasn't too much power. It's not a thunderbolt towards goal, but still a decent enough save, Ben.
It looks like the sun might have been in his eyes as well. It can be difficult for goalkeepers like that. It's all about concentration. I think it's the first time this season where he's got the ball in his hands and he's not thrown it in 2.5 seconds.
Yeah,
he's kept hold of it,
he's
calmed everyone down.
He's got a lot better at playing to what I would say a normal pace. His game management the last few weeks has been superb, because that's, I think, probably the area that you identified throughout the first 4 months of the campaign that Leeds just hadn't learned just yet as a group. Surrendered a couple of leads, but again, Berardi, so many players. I think it's quite tough for them because they're so good going forward. They just want to score goal after goal. But seeing these games out, keeping clean sheets is the name of the game, as Berardi goes to Greenwood, who again with that array of passing tries to go down the line to Somerville. He's very expansive, Sam Greenwood. He can go with either foot. He comes across, tries to win the ball back. His yellow card count for the season's improved. Doesn't been picking up too many. A very passionate player. Draws the free kick, but Leeds just before the hour mark in a great position here. Joe Gelhardt hat-trick. I'm sure those that have watched have been mightily impressed again by the Leeds United number 9. And so far so good for those still on their comeback from injuries, as well as the ball is thumped forward. And Cresswell, Gabriel deal with that expertly, and a couple of call-ups to some youth internationals as well, Ben, for some of our players, Cresswell included, Gelhardt. Charlie Allen has been represented at the under-18 levels as well, so it's a good chance for all these players to go away. Bit of a reset as the rest of the groups they put, but all those get to go and try their hand at international level, which is a marvellous achievement.
Yeah, going back to when I used to go away with the England youths, it's a fantastic occasion. Your family gets so proud as well, but it all goes down to the hard work you do at your club level, so the players have been superb. Fully deserve the call up. Hope they'll go away and enjoy it. I'm sure the England under-19s, from what I read, it's just a training camp this time round, but you get to mix with some of the best players your age in the country, and that can only develop and bring on your game. Was it making a second substitution of the match?
Yeah, changed. He's cut a drama. Kawan Obikok is the man that is up. It's the hour mark, a little bit of extra minutes in the legs, and all good signs. He came off, and a couple of important touches against, came on, should I say, against Fulham. And more minutes in the legs, and another fine replacement from a youth level, Ben, in Kodajame, who's going to go to his right back spot. He's going to try and see the difference in the team. It should mean that Jenkins just fills in where Robin Koch was playing, or Shackleton will go into that role as well. Him and Jenkins could interchange it, and Drame goes to right back. So just when West Brom's players thought they had a hard afternoon, arguably what the best right back we've seen at this level this season has stepped on for half an hour.
I'm sure he'll be not a point to prove, but it's just one of those. He wants to play every minute, every game, and as you mentioned, is another player who stood out in a season where nearly every player has stood out. So look, he'll just be like, look, okay, that's fair enough. I know the roles and responsibilities with the 23s. People have to get minutes. But okay, but I still want to play every single game. I want to start every single game. So he'll be trying to do something this half an hour, try and get forward, because that's part of the game which we've seen develop over the course of the season, because I haven't seen a better player at this level who defends 1v1 situations better than Cody Drame. And the part of his game that he has worked on is going forward, joining the attacks, and that's what we've seen, the big improvement as the season's developed, so I'm sure he'll be looking to try and do that again.
Yeah, Greenwood just gives away a free kick, and West Brom take it quickly. Lee just caught napping for a second. Cresswell and Davis trying to make sure that nothing can come of it. Cresswell does so by taking a little kick at the ankles of Owen Windsor, and again the referee's just trying to make his point heard, just trying to tell him to calm down. I think this is one of the areas that I'm not too in agreement with the official, that these are simple challenges that are made on every single football pitch in every single country. When a team is on the attack, you just take a simple foul to try and slow it down, and he's just trying to explain why he gave the free kick, and I don't think Charlie Cresswell cared one bit. But again, the referees, he's been fair to both sides of the team. He's done everything the same, so got to respect him for that, as West Brom back on the ball, and Shackleton trying to make a difference in midfield. Kaladrame with a good interception, and again those nifty feet of V's gets him out of trouble. Cresswell wants a bit more movement. He's not happy that what he saw down the left, so instead he goes to Berardi. They're looking for a second goal in this second half. Already got one to make it 3 with Gelhardt. Beat West Brom 2-1 back at Thorpe Arch in November, so already bettered that result as it stands. Hopefully a big few weeks, as is Villa next up on the 16th of April. Hopefully me and Ben have got more FA Youth Cup action before that, as Jan Poveda skips away. Under 18s will play Newcastle once that fixture is scheduled. Back inside to Jenkins. He looks up and now decides to spray the pass wide to Leif Davis. Good first touch, given better second touch. Now with the third, he whips the ball across the face of goal. And I don't see too much wrong with that from a left back's point of view. No doubt Ben will tell me how good that was as a fellow left back. But all joking aside, he got a good touch, second good touch, whipped it in, and I'm sure from his point of view he wants a striker to attack it rather than stand back.
I think on that occasion he was just too quick for his own good. No one could keep up with him. The pace of Leif Davis we spoke about in the first half, didn't we, about how high he can jump, but how quick he is, his energy as well. And again, another part of his game that I'm sure he's been practicing on, you can see it in these 23 matches, is his end product. It's a great cross, but unfortunately no one just could keep up with him. All you'd take are just one of the strikers, a midfield runner, to come in. It'd be a simple tap in then, but that's what you want to see from Leif Davis. Just keep bombing forward. No restrictions, trying to hold your shape. One of those days. So we could just stand next to your centre half and try and look good.
Ball out towards the far side. Jan Poveda skips away. Goes back into Jenkins. Across to Johnny Cresswell. Cresswell to Shackleton. Shackleton tries to feed the ball through. It's a sloppy pass though. Makes amends very quickly though. Now on the attack. Shackleton looks back and goes to Davis. Gelhardt, Shackleton's got to watch his line and stay on side. Joe Gelhardt toys with the 3 players alongside him. Now he's kicked into the air and it will be a free kick.
I almost felt sorry for the 3 West Brom players then, because I knew what was coming. You knew what was coming, Tom. The ball, as soon as it's at Joe Gelhardt's feet, you're not getting it off him, because the control of the guy is just, it's sublime. Was always going to win a free kick there. Expected just to dive in, did that, wins a free kick. Repeat what I said just after he got his hat-trick. It was a joy to watch his Joe Gelhardt.
Yeah, could have played that ball earlier. He's got the confidence in his ability to just take a few more touches, try and find a better angle. And he's certainly made our jobs so much easier throughout the year so far, as he takes a short free kick with Sam Greenwood. Back to Leif Davis. Leeds have put their centre forwards to the back post. Their centre halves are firmly in there. Berardi goes for goal. And Gaetano Berardi can't replicate some of the very rare finishes we've seen over the years. Salford, Newport, hoping that West Brom 23 is away was going to be one of the rare occasions we'd seen him score a goal, but not to be.
I was there for the Salford one as well, and I'm sure what's the chant if Berardi scores were on the pitch. I was nearly on the pitch when he scored at Salford, and if that went in, I don't think I could have commentated for the rest of the game. I've to put the mic down, off I go. Berardi, he finished the game off for me. But a word on Berardi as well, his fitness levels, but that goes on to the medical staff, the sports scientists, to get him in tip-top shape. The amount of running these boys must have to do just to get to this level, to be able to play in the 23s, coming back after, which is such a awful and hard injury to come back after them ACLs. But it looks in great shape. He's an ultimate pro, is Berardi. The players love him at the training ground, the staff do as well. And getting even more minutes under his belt, be delighted so far he's played this amount of time in the game.
Yeah, fingers crossed it's the rest of the game is a safe passage as well, and back on the bench ready for action as per usual in the first team as the long ball forward. Cresswell leaves it. Good communication again between himself and Elijah Capril, and those two, as they've done all season, work a short pass, and now Berardi's brought into the game. Berardi pods it away to Jenkins. Good first touch from Jenkins because he had to get there. There was a couple of West Brom players on the left hand side of him. Here comes Cresswell. There's 22 minutes to go. Berardi's ball to Paveda was rather powerful, but he's done well to keep it in play. Drame back to Berardi. This one to Shackleton, who's seemingly playing on the left-hand side of that midfield. Just trying to force a pass wide. Jenkins, the man that's sitting. A bit too easy this for Leeds from West Brom's point of view, lack of pressure. Cresswell going to continue to come forward as that ball played into the path as Somerville is clipped down the back of the ankles. And it is going to be a free kick. Taken quickly. Leeds, I think, might be told to restart this, and they are going to be. Joe Gelhardt's going to come across again. Gelhardt's got the ball. He's played across to Greenwood. Here is Drame. Into Paveda. Back to Jenkins. He goes wide to Cresswell. Jenkins again. It's too easy this for the Whites at the moment as Drame down the right. Paveda. He's going to skip inside. Tries to drill the ball forward. It's in towards the near post, and it's found Crescencio Somerville with a beautiful, neat finish at the near post. Just kicks it into the floor. The keeper is beaten. Fantastic pass from Jan Paveda to release fellow winger Crescencio Somerville. And we've seen throughout the game so far both fullbacks combine. Now it's the case for both wingers. And Leeds United are 4 goals to the good.
Wow, what a pass that is. Initially I just thought it was offside, but the vision, the technique, the skill, just to play that inch perfect pass. But then the run as well from Somerville, timed it perfectly. And what he's done as well, once he's there, he's got the finish. He's got the know-how where the keeper is. He's got the skill. Finds the bottom corner. It's all about the pass from Paveda. One of the passes of the season. Great finish from Somerville. And it's a goal that he deserves. His performance has already got 2 assists to his name. Gets himself on the score sheet. 4-0. We can make this scoreline anything we want to today now. You can see West Brom's heads have dropped.
Yeah, just doing a quick check, Ben. When we were shown the replays of that penalty incident, it suggests that the referee sent off the left-back George Harman for a second yellow. I've been trying to use my very basic math skills of counting 1 to 11 while Leeds are waltzing forward, and there's only 10 players out there, and the stats elsewhere suggest George Harman was given a yellow card. So West Brom down to 10 men as Jan Paveda has now been chopped down, and West Brom are going to have to be careful here as another challenge comes, another yellow card, and that one is for Eric Burnham. So yeah, we were showing a replay of when it was the second yellow shown, so I can only guess it's for either the penalty or a challenging back play. So West Brom's afternoon has been made worse, so just trying to bring our fans up to speed. So West Brom look to be down to 10 as Jan Paveda is just trying to run off the injury in what looks like a sore region. He's confused 4 West Brom players with that last pass. It might be my favourite goal of the day, actually. Joe Gelhardt's second at the near post. 2 penalties. The referee has now upset everyone in the West Brom wall because They're claiming he marched the 10 and then sprayed the line behind them, so they've decided to just call rank and ignore the line. Now Sam Greenwood has told the referee that that's the case. This is going to go down well. Owen Windsor is now going to decide to count it. And as you can see with his left boot, he has marked out the line. The referee is not happy. The yellow card is out. Greenwood is just going to tease away and try and add to the situation. Now is the referee going to recount this? No. He's going to stand his ground and suggest he got it right first time. Well, if this goes in, West Brom are going to be furious. Greenwood steps up, right-footed. It's a dangerous effort. Oh, what a goal! And Sam Greenwood with one of the goals of the season. It's better than his first free kick against Sunderland. Look at Joe Gelhardt with the mouth covered with the hands. He can't believe what he's just seen. Sam Greenwood take a bow. West Brom 0, Leeds United 5.
Well, Tom, you can have the 4th goal as your favourite of the day. I'm taking the 5th. Wow, what a shot. What a finish. Joe Gelhardt still got his hands on his mouth thinking, what have I just seen there? The keeper's on that side. It's gone right into the top kind of corner. Clipped the post, clipped the bar, clipped everything. You're not going to find a better free kick all season long.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I did say, imagine if this goes in, how annoyed they're going to be that their wall was not 10 yards.
I think the players just wanted to give him a round of applause in the end. Look at that.
I was just going to say that I think, well, Windsor's trying to lead the way. It doesn't matter where the wall is, let's be honest. It isn't going to stop it. And Joe Gelhardt's reaction might be my favourite of the season. Fantastic work from Leeds. 5-0 to the good. And Ben mentioned it after the 4th. They can go and get as many as they want with the way they're playing. West Brom down a man light. And it just doesn't really get much better than that Greenwood strike. If Charlie Cresswell did nothing but talk about his little Maradona turn last week, then it's time for a new changing room topic, Ben.
Well, you mentioned the battle between Joe Gelhardt and Sam Greenwood for the kind of top goal scorer rank. I think Sam Greenwood's wrapped up goal of the season, maybe.
Yeah, that is... well, this team, you never know with this team what they've got in the last few games, but that is going to take some beating. Here they go looking for a 6. Shackleton, he wants to play it to Davis. Probably too much. Davis to the near post. It was just kept in. And Shackleton, I think, apologises for the strength of the ball. He could have used that as a decoy, but that's what I think. Well, that's personally what I love about Jamie Shackleton, that he just wants to do the right thing at all times. Doesn't want to try and take it on his own. He's more about the team and working it wide to Leif Davis was the main thing he had in his mind. Leif Davis, I think, has had a great game getting up and down that left-hand side, showing great pace. He's put some good balls into the box as well.
No, he has, and he's played 75 minutes. Probably been a while since he's played this amount of minutes. And as a player, you want to play as much just to keep sharp, and obviously no game now until we play Sheffield United in the first team, so these players will want to stay sharp, they'll want to stay fresh. I'm sure they'll be working hard in training as well. Don't get too many days off, even in international breaks, so especially into coming to the run in the final part of the season. You never know what will happen. You need to be ready when you get given an opportunity.
Yeah, Davis and Somerville. Davis had judged to have just pushed the West Brom right back, Ethan Ingram. There's going to be another change. Leeds are just going to try and switch things up. The number 11 was the one that was on the board. Just double checking, it is Crescencio Somerville, and that will be the correct call. So gets a goal, and in his place is Liam McCarran for the last 10 minutes. That's a dangerous challenge on Charlie Cresswell, who just gets up and shrugs it off. Liam McCarran's had a cracking few games. And the referee now wants a word with the number 16. He's going to decide that is a yellow card. It was quite high. You agreement, or you think it's a bit soft?
Just play on.
Yeah.
See Charlie Cresswell just jump straight back up, wants to get on with a free kick. The thing is, the referee has been consistent, but just tracking some decisions out though. Just let the game flow.
Yeah, a little bit scrappy on that side of things in the second half. As Shackleton goes back to Cresswell. Towards Kitana Berardi. Away to Cody Drami. Drami across to Poveda. Sam Greenwood asking for it all the time, but he's ignored. Poveda decides to wrap his foot around it and go to McCarran, who just keeps it nice and steady. West Brom's game plan is more of a case of keeping the scoreline as tight as they can after losing their defender Harmon. Here is Davis. Davis, that should be a West Brom throw if they think it's gone, and it is. Showing a little bit of sign of frustration, kicking the ball away. West Brom's players, though, heads bowed. Disappointing afternoon, and I'm sure they'll come again. They've got a number of games in hand on those teams around them at the bottom. They have lost 7 of their last 8, West Brom, but their home record is not too bad. 2 defeats in 6, 3 wins and 1 draw, and it's not been a happy hunting ground this afternoon for them. As Shackleton has just have given a free kick away for a foul on Zach Brown. Joe Gelhardt's taken his tally to 11 for the season. Coming into this game with 8. He's got a hat-trick. Crescencio Somerville's got another one. He's got a hat-trick a few weeks ago. And now Sam Greenwood, by my reckoning, has got his 8th of the campaign. He was stuck on 7 for a couple of weeks, had a few weeks out injured, as West Brom get a free kick. No real rush to take this one. Ethan Ingram taking it short. Referee's not going to allow it. He wasn't looking. Frustrating that as a player, because they were in there, West Brom. They'd totally outfoxed Leeds, but the referee in defence wasn't looking, didn't have any indication wanted them to carry it on. But I'm sure for West Brom's perspective, that just sums up their afternoon. They just, for a second, have got Leeds under pressure, and then that happens.
Yeah, it does. What I'd like to see from us, though, can we hold the line on the edge of the box? Don't be deep. Don't give them a chance.
It's not a bad effort as Davis gets up and heads away. Poveda, Shackleton. Shackleton straight away on the case, and Leeds are putting the right back under pressure. Greenwood there trying to help out. It's a very good ball, in fact, towards Windsor. Davis is quick on his case towards the far post. Berardi, beautiful work. And Elika Prill with a little bit of thigh control just to try and waste a little bit more time, and then balls the ball away towards Jenkins. So Leeds keep it in with Cody Drami. Another good touch with Drami. He's been played a couple of bad passes, and you wouldn't know with the way he's brought it under control. He tries to switch the play to Davis. He has done. Davis down the line to McCarran. McCarran looking for a second, just gets the ball caught underneath his feet while he was looking back inside. He skips away. He goes to Cresswell. And now Cresswell to Berardi. Shackleton to Greenwood. And Poveda on his way. Shackleton again. Drami. It's beautiful, this from Leeds. It's all very close control. One touch passing. Poveda again with his right foot towards the far post. Keeper flaps at it, takes a bit of a risk. Whether he just misjudged the flight at it, and the touch took it away from a Leeds player, but it's not wholly convincing from him, the sub-keeper Boric, and Leeds are forced back. I think Jan Poveda's shown a different side of his game today in that respect, Ben, where we've normally just used to seeing him cutting on his left because teams can't stop him, and today he's used that right foot more. It sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but it is a different side of his game that will confuse defenders if he continues to do it.
It's about mixing his game up, like receiving the pass now, having a little run coming onto his left. We've seen him with his pass. Yeah, again, fantastic.
Great work in towards Greenwood now. Can he get a second? Good save by Boric. It's going to fall. Here's Joe Gelhardt, takes a touch, still to pull the trigger. Poveda towards the edge of the 6-yard box, goes for goal, and this time with his right foot, he just can't keep his balance, and it will be behind for a goal kick. But that is what we're trying to say in terms of his. I guess a few players would be expecting him to stay on his left. He's shown 2 great balls into the box. That was one there. He got an assist earlier. He's not too far away from just getting a bit closer to go for goal. It all got a bit frantic, Ben.
It looks like it's something he's trying to work on the training ground by just getting the ball out of his feet, whipping across him with his weaker right foot. And then if defenders are going to go and close him down, that's when he can be really cute, nipping back onto his left foot. I was going to mention there, his pass to Somerville, his pass he wrapped into Gelhardt to Greenwood as well. It's so hard for defenders to mark you when you are mixing your game. You don't know to get tight, drop off. If you do either, he'll hurt you on both occasions.
Yeah, Davis with a good tackle, important touch. And now it's with Ethan Ingram to take this West Brom throw. So into the final 10 minutes. If you're just joining us here in LUTV, it's been another fantastic afternoon of football from Leeds U23s. Another step closer to the PL2 Division 2 title, thanks to a hat-trick from Joe Gelhardt, Crescencio Somerville, and the goal of the season so far, maybe from anybody. I haven't seen too many highlight reels of other 23s teams. Don't think I need to. I've just decided that's the goal of the season for everybody, Ben. If you're just joining us and you have missed that free kick, do check out the highlights on LUTV later for a quite stunning strike from the Leeds number 10 as Leeds look for that 6. Pervader's ball through. It's another dangerous one. A missed kick. Here's McCarran. McCarran tried to squeeze it through the keeper's legs. He does well, in fact, the West Brom stopper, Borak. And now it's back out as it gets down the line. It's intercepted. And McCarran's unlucky. And I must say, Jan Pervader's balls, the last 3 times, whipped in low and hard towards the edge of the box. They've caused absolute chaos as Charlie Cresswell is going to get a card here for putting his hand on the shoulder of a West Brom player. That's a soft one. But your thoughts, Ben, on those last few efforts from Jan Pervader? They've really improved Leeds' attacks down the right-hand side.
Real quality. We know he's got that quality, but to do it on a surface like today, where you've seen, especially from the West Brom players, they haven't really managed to get it right. Just goes to show where he's at, where he's coming back from his injury as well. We forget that he was out for several weeks as well, Pervader. He's a player that speaks to a lot of the senior players at the club, speak to the staff as well, about how hard he's worked at his game from when he first came to the club where he is now. Always trying to improve, work on his fitness levels, different aspects of his game. When you find people who do work really hard and try and get better, you get your rewards. You get that bit of, I won't say luck, but you do get those chances, and then it's over to you to get that chance and take it by doing all the things you've been doing on the training pitch. So you can just see here, in the first half didn't really have much service, but in the second half, his quality shone through.
It certainly has. Leeds around 5 minutes to go, plus a bit of stoppage time. Had a couple of changes, so do expect we'll get a little bit of time, but you never know with the officials. Sometimes with the scorelines as we are, we do get the game ended a little early as Shackleton tries to put pressure on the West Brom midfield, and now driving it out is Tom Sharp. The pass is wayward, and Leeds just once again pick up the pieces. Eli Caprile again to Charlie Cresswell. Sam Greenwood's shown another element to his game as a centre midfielder. Has dropped very deep for the ball. He hasn't just been a flashy number 10. He has worked very hard as that ball looks towards Pervader. A great first touch again. He will win Leeds a throw. Journey to Joe Gelhardt, who tried to bounce off one. He's going to work his way towards the corner flag. It was a soft challenge. He wasn't much in it, but again, you can see it so many times in matches. Just the player feels the contact and goes to ground. Cresswell steers the ball away. Joe Gelhardt again brings it under control, keeps it, takes on 2 or 3. Another Cruyff turn and wins a free kick. He's just running out of words to Joe Gelhardt there. Ben's just decided to laugh instead. Great hold-up play. Most impressive bit there was he didn't actually have it under control the first 2 times. It was then the third Cruyff turn that just rubbed it in.
That's the illusion he gives out.
Well, yeah.
He knew what he was doing every single second of that.
It looked like he was making it harder work than it was. As Greenwood goes cross-field, he tries to get it over towards Davis, just gets a little bit underneath it. Shackleton beaten to it by Winter, who has been a thorn in Leeds' side for the game. He has tried, he's battled away. He's been pretty isolated as well, so the player, I'm sure, that's got a bright future for West Brom. As McCarran just runs into trouble, he wants to be switched back on. Matt Jackson just giving him a bit of helping encouragement. Winter pods it through. Shackleton, little nudge. Referee said it's a free kick. Shackleton wants to apologise for catching the West Brom player on the back of the ankle. Jenkins intercepts into Shackleton, who's going to look wide right. These have got a good few players out there, but the pass is too central. Headed away by Brown into Berardi. And Leeds will build again. Kodadrame is a player that's yet to stretch the legs and attack. He gives it to Poveda. It's not a bad option. Now returns pass towards Drame. Good tackle from West Brom. Both teams are appealing for the decision. Kodadrame is not happy. It's gone against him, but it has been given as a goal kick. And Leeds with a couple of minutes left. Normally ask Ben for a man of the match. Which point today?
I could try and go around the houses saying this player's done well, that player's done great. And again, as a team, we've been ruthless. Really have been ruthless. There's only one standout man. You cannot give it to someone who's got a hat. You cannot, can you?
Yeah, you can't not give it to the Leeds United top scorer in the PL2 Division 2. He'll be up there in the standings as well. I'll have to check the stats after the game as Poveda skips away. It's great feet from Jan Poveda. Greenwood wants it early. Poveda's going to carry it a bit further. It bobbles. It's into Greenwood's path. I think he's managed to get that shot away towards the near post. West Brom were appealing for offside. There's a lot of confusion there. As a team move, perhaps one that hasn't flowed as nicely for Leeds, Ben. It could have gone a little bit earlier, that pass. I don't mind Jan Poveda keeping it. I think he was then a bit unfortunate. Once he decided to keep it, it then bobbled a couple of times, and that just gave West Brom that split second to get back.
No, it did, but again, the energy levels, you're 5-0 up, you're thinking, okay, don't need to commit going forward. The game's obviously sewn up, but the desire still went to go. See, look, Shackleton, Poveda off the go again. Leif Davis in the bottom corner.
Yeah, Poveda, he's going to have another go. He's got his breath back, or is he just standing against it? In fact, he wants to keep it tight, and West Brom are just hoping for this final whistle to come now. Gaetano Berardi is going to try and drive it further forward. Greenwood, he'll want to be part of a 6 goal. McCarran was asking for it down the line. Davis saw the run but just couldn't play it quick enough. Now Cresswell across to Jack Jenkins. Jenkins to Shackleton. Out wide to Poveda. Drame's on his inside. Poveda wanted one of them to come short. Shackleton was the one that did, and now Shackleton zips away. It's into Gelhardt, a little back heel. It's just short enough. Shackleton goes and gets it back. Into the box it comes. McCarran still can't pull the trigger. Leif Davis is going to left-footed drive. Keeper saves, and it's still not fully clear. West Brom at the third time of asking, hook it to the edge of the box. Davis will come again. And Leeds just toying now with West Brom. Their bodies are tired. They just want the final whistle. This man is not the player you want to have on the ball as Joe Gelhardt comes away. Skips past one to Shackleton, in behind to Davis, bodies queuing up, Davis goes low and hard, but West Brom hook it clear, and perhaps a high boot against Charlie Cresswell it will be, and the action finally comes to an end from West Brom's point of view. We can get our breath back.
And we can breathe. To be fair, I'm still wondering how it's not 6, and Jamie Shackleton, his energy just deserved the goal in the end. Tried to get a little 1-2 with Gelhardt, but then he's closing down. I think he's just going to take it away from the defender in the box after he's won it back, find the back of the net, but they managed to scramble it clear and remain at 5.
Yeah, free kick to the Baggies, already 2 minutes into stoppage time. Not much time left for Leeds to go and get a 6 goal. This man will want a clean sheet. Cresswell, him and Capriel work a quick back pass. Cresswell's trying to explain why he played it. Clearly not happy with Elia Capriel's touch into play for a throw. Berardi just takes an important step back and allows him to get a bit more distance on that clearance. Shot's going to come in, and it's well over the top and behind. And Leeds still 5-0 to the good. To Cresswell is the time for Leeds to go and get that 6th goal. Jenkins is going to try and run his way into a bit of free space to help that cause to Drame. Down the line to Poveda. This is one of the men that they want on the ball for a 6th, and Poveda skips away. It's far too easy. Into the box it comes. Jan Poveda on his right foot goes for goal, deflected. They'll be behind for a corner. And Jan Poveda has shown a different side of his game today. He's made him harder to mark, harder to bring under control. And one last chance perhaps for Leeds as Sam Greenwood makes his way across to take the set piece. So Berardi comes up, Charlie Cresswell comes up, McCarran on the edge, Poveda on the edge, Shackleton and Joe Gelhardt stood a little bit further back. Leif Davis is at the near post, perhaps a new different set piece technique. Cresswell makes an early run, stops and checks. And Greenwood will float it towards Cresswell, tries to win the header, he's nearly going to get to it. Good header away from West Brom. And as far as Berardi, who cushioned it to Shackleton, referee still not interested in blowing the whistle just yet. To McCarran, back to Shackleton. So much space for him to drive into Shackleton. Will he go and take it into Gelhardt? Wants to try and cushion it into his path. And Leeds with Berardi, wins the ball back. Free kick given against Gaetano Berardi. Looked like a fair challenge. The referee suggests he went through the back of the West Brom player. And that could well be that for West Brom's defensive duties. Leeds do the double over West Brom. I'm sure the Baggies will be happy to see the back of them after today's performance, but they'll be hoping to climb off the table, off the bottom of it. They've got 4 games in hand. And while Leeds have got a couple of weeks break, West Brom have got some work to do. Cresswell looking for the run of Jenkins. And towards Davis. Davis looking both sides of the play, looks out towards the right, and again Jan Poveda's found too much space. It's where West Brom was short at left back. Poveda has got Drami on the overlap, he ignores him, still got it, Jan Poveda now tries to squeeze it to Greenwood. Greenwood looking for a second. Leeds toying with West Brom's defence. Poveda again, he floats one to the far post, he's got plenty of air on that ball, and the loft helps out the right back, and that is headed clear. But it's the damage was done a long time ago for Leeds United's 23s as the full-time whistle goes. They're another victory closer to the PL2 Division 2 title thanks to a 5-0 thrashing of West Bromwich Albion. A hat-trick for Joe Gelhardt to take his tally to 11 for the season. Crescencio Somerville, 4th goal that was teed up by Jan Poveda before one of the goals of the season from the boots of Sam Greenwood from a free kick. A fabulous afternoon. Thank you once again for Ben Parker for joining us this afternoon. West Brom 23s 0, Leeds United 23s 5.